Hi, I'm Dianne Nelson. Welcome to Meet the Candidate of Harrison Township 2020. This project is a joint effort between myself as the Senior Center Coordinator and Melissa Goins, the Library Director for Harrison Township. The program is designed to bring information to the voters of Harrison Township about the people who currently serve the township and others from our community who want to. The library nor the Senior Center endorses any candidates. The only goal of this project is to provide voters with information.
We're talking to Dianne Marvaso, candidate for Harrison Township Library Board. Tell us about yourself, Dianne.
Well, I was raised on the east side of Detroit and attended Regina High School. I worked in the library, shelving more Betty Cavanaugh books than one can imagine there were. And from there, went on to Wayne State, where I chose a path in early childhood education, then called nursery school teacher. So that's what I did, and I was lucky enough to stay on that path for my whole working career. Started off in Grosse Pointe Nursery, on to Macomb County Community Services in their early childhood program. Took time off to start my family, and then went back and was hired by Lance Cruz. Worked as a storytelling lady, and then 3- and 4-year-old preschool teacher. I did Great Start Readiness Program, the tuition-free program for the state of Michigan. And I was parent educator for children birth through 5 at a home visit and playgroup program through the Parents as Teachers program, and then ended up working with children 18 months to 3.5 years old. And through all of that, I knew in my heart, and also was, reinforced, that language and books are so important to children if they're going to succeed. They're going to succeed in school and in life. And there's something about book language that's so different. You can acquire language, but acquiring book language, so you have proper syntax, proper pronunciation when you're being read to, the proper pronunciation of those words, your vocabulary, your expression, all tied into the book language that you see when you're read to and when you read. So I have always loved books. I always had books near me. My parents always read children's books, all the golden books, but books. And when I could buy them, I bought my own books. We were closer to Eastland than I was to a library, so I walked rather than being driven, so I could always have a book. And when I couldn't afford a book with the money that I had earned, I borrowed my brothers and read Bronk Burnett and Chip Hilton, and then was able to borrow from my grandma's house and read books that my aunts had read when they were young. So that's how I got the Little Women and Seven Cousins and Pollyanna and all those wonderful books, and Penrod and Sam. So I was hearing vocabulary, not only current, contemporary vocabulary, I was hearing the vocabulary that my 50-year-old aunts had read when they were young. It was very exciting. My husband and I have lived in the Harrison Township for more than 35 years, raised our 2 sons here, and now I am reading to my granddaughters who are 1 and 3, and starting the process all over again with being excited about language.
Very good. What originally prompted you to run for the library board?
Well, my involvement with Harrison Township Library began when I got tired of paying first $50, then $100, then $200 to the other libraries, Mount Clemens and Chesterfield, for the privilege of borrowing books. I didn't want to be without books, so I did. And then we'd go get them from the county library, where Harrison Township residents were kind of treated like second-class citizens. I remember going once and saying, "Oh, yes, I'm a Harrison Township resident," or no, I'd like to borrow a book. And she looked at my name and couldn't find it. And I said, "Well, I live in Harrison Township." She said, the woman working there said, "Well, you have to tell us that first. You're on a different screen than anybody else." And I thought, my goodness, what is that all about? So when I got word that Mark Witkowski was starting this groundswell of interest in starting a library in Harrison Township, I looked into it and got very involved. It went through a couple failed millages, and during that time we were lucky enough to be able to use Rosso Hall as a place, thanks to the powers that be, Tony Ferlini, thank you, and acquire the books from the county library that was closing. So I worked with all those hardworking folks that packed books, carted books in our vans, delivered them, put up the shelves, and got a volunteer library going in Harrison Township. All volunteer, all through donations and fundraisers. So we worked on those fundraisers and vendor sales and things at Kroger's, used book sales at Kroger's and all over this place. And finally, we had 2 more millages, and on the second one in 2014, the millage was successful, and we became a publicly funded library. Hurrah! And I was appointed and then elected to the first board of trustees of that library, and have served as the president of that board ever since. We've had challenging times, we've had exciting times, we've had times where we learned so much. We've had, with your leadership, we've developed this wonderful place for people to associate with each other and meet and greet. And I think that there are many exciting times still ahead, and challenging times, and things to learn ahead of us. And I want to be part of that. I still want to be involved in that, because I just kind of foresee some great things in our future in Harrison Township and through our library.
Very good. What do you see as the library's role in the community, and how do you plan to help foster that role?
Well, Harrison Township, like many townships, there's no center place to meet. There's no midtown. There's no city center, a place dedicated for meeting, for gathering, even for hanging out. I mean, there aren't just that many places around, and I think the library was starting and is starting to fill that gap that we have in Harrison Township for a center of some sort, where people will say, oh, I know you from the library. I know one of the stories is one of the staff members left her ID badge at Kroger's, and the next time I was in Kroger's, a cashier said, you're with the library, right? Because we'd had fundraisers there and begged them to use their lobby for displaying things. And I said, yes. She said, well, I found this pin. It belongs to one of the people at the library. Could you get it to her? That's networking. That's being part of a community. I'm sure, okay. And so it brought home how important it is to be out there and be known and be part of something big. And I think our library is one of the biggest things available in Harrison Township. I think it can provide that space as a center, as well as the dissemination of information to all levels, to parents with little ones and those little ones, and as we grow older, and the teens. We have to reach out to all those groups. I see the library as that space to do it, and the more it becomes known as that space through networking, through word of mouth, it becomes more and more important to the community. It's also, to quote our first library newsletter, it's to connect people to resources that inform, educate, entertain, and inspire. And I think that is still our goal. I'll continue to promote the library. We're making Harrison Township residents aware of it. I try to network as much as I can and get the word out as much as I can. Let them become aware of the programs, the events, the speakers that we have available that you don't get many other places, especially during this time. The churches when they're open, that was one source that people would get information. That's one source of networking that they still had. That was no longer available. The Cub Scout groups were no longer available. The library was available very early on. Our library opened and was available to folks to continue those kinds of things. Not close networking, but at least Zooming networking and getting to see people with a common interest and pursue different areas. So I think that when we know what speakers are available, what programs are available, it's all very important. I'm also active in the Friends group, and we're currently trying to boost that membership. And through the friendships, the Friends activities and events and fundraisers, that provides money for the programs to do all this. That helps us. They helped us with the millage, but also with getting information and resources and other speakers and other events for all ages in our community.
Very good. What are your involvements in community affairs?
Well, I'm active at St. Hubert's, and the committee I'm on is the festival committee, as co-chair of the used book sale at our big raffle, or the big festival that we hold every fall, not this fall, but every fall. And so I co-chair the used book sale, which is a great endeavor, and also the Harrison Township Beautification Commission. And then as a 20-year member of a book club that was formed by a core group of the Harrison Township women, I get to meet with intelligent, involved book lovers every month. And through that, it just reaches out, and the networking goes on from there.
Great. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'm just looking forward to the exciting future of our library and want to be part of it, as I say. And I want to thank you, Melissa, for providing this opportunity for the candidates to speak and for the residents to hear what all the candidates running for office for this November's election have to say and what the plans are for the township and the library going forward. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Diane, and thank you so much for telling us about yourself and for offering to serve in our community.
I'm Melissa Goins. Thank you for tuning in to meet the candidates of Harrison Township 2020. Don't forget to vote at the polls on August 4th and November 3rd, or with an absentee ballot. All voting information for Harrison Township can be found at htvotes.com. That's HT for Harrison Township, votes.com.